Hype versus substance in anime. Let's lock in.
Hype is used in every form of media, but in anime particularly, it has been the backbone of the top titles recently. Well, that is until the industry had an adaptation with zero hype, but had an element so compelling that it can only be described as masterful storytelling. And that title is
Oh
Frieren
my
Beyond
God.
Journey's End, with the element of substance.
Man, just give me a round of applause. Give me a round of applause. Give it a round of applause. This anime was so peak.
So to fully understand the differences between hype and substance, I'll compare Freeman's Substance with Solo Leveling, a show mostly built around hype. But
Yeah,
first,
exactly.
what is hype?
And this is a show that won anime of the year, by the way. Bro, my boy, Frieren got robbed.
Defined as an extravagant or intensive publicity or promotion that often exaggerates the importance or benefit. So how does Solo Leveling fall under this category? Well, Solo Leveling was not a manga, or in this case, a manhwa, that was just thrown into the audience's lap with little to no fan base. It already built up a significant amount of readers who had already finished the series on their own and were just waiting for the adaptation. So naturally, it's human instinct to want to share and socialize with as many people as possible, and to be the one who puts someone onto a show. But just buzz and word of mouth does not create the hype that Solo Leveling has got. You've seen some titles not live up to the hype, even with buzz, like recently with the beginning after the end.
Bro, the beginning after the end, like this is probably gonna go down in history as one of the. I don't even know. They were done so bad, bro. And you know what? Mad people would never understand how good this show actually was, just cause you know what I'm saying. Bitch ass animation studio, bro.
Although it is far too early to say, but people are already counting it out.
And yeah, it's done. It's done. It is not early to say at all.
Keeping the audience with three outstanding sub-elements that continue to build along with the hype. The first is the MC. It's no secret that having a likable protagonist can carry even the most boring of shows. The zero to hero trope never gets old because it brings a sense of relatability to the audience. Most people are grinding it out, just trying to be the best versions of themselves, and see a direct correlation to Jin Woo and his story. His ascent from a weak, lowly E-rank hunter to an aura farming monarch is the perfect blend of traits to make a strong
aura
MC,
farming monarch.
and not in a deep way, but in a way where we have to see what comes next. Because in its purest, most simplified form, Solo Leveling isn't a story about bonds, deep connections, or self-discovery. It's one man and the rise to the top in hopes of protecting what's closest to him, something most people can relate to, no matter their circumstances.
That is true.
The second sub-element is the system. The system is the glue to the success Solo Leveling has had. A video game-like power system that focuses on pure progression and forces you to be the best version of yourself.
Oh my God, when I first seen this, when I was reading the manhwa and I first seen it was like a video game type system, I was like, damn, this was the first time I had ever seen like a power system like that being done. I started thinking, because as soon as I saw that, I was like, damn, how many other people in this world probably have it? It's like a reverse SAO, right? Like, I thought it would be like a reverse SAO where instead of being trapped in the game came to people outside. And I thought other people were going to have a gaming-like system, but it was only Sung Jin-woo, and they can, like, see him. They literally forced him to, they were like, yo, if you don't complete the, 100 miles or, like, and then, like, 100 push-ups or something, bro, they transported him to fight a giant centipede.
The author does something with the system that makes us and Jin Woo feel the addiction of leveling up and progressing to new heights. This isn't a super deep, intricate power system like Cursed Energy. It takes the video gamer in you and it combines it with a relatable protagonist and produces a want for more. And that want is tied back to the hype. With every level up, every boss defeated, it adds to that initial hype of the story, and you start to realize that this isn't just a decent manhwa that made it through the cracks. It has something that draws you back, constantly wanting more. The
every
system
time
makes it feel like a third-person MMORPG, and you don't get to control the character. You have to wait and then anticipate their next move. And the final sub-element that is arguably the most compelling reason for the hype is the production. From the choreography to the animation,
oh my God,
pacing, all the way to the...
I was actually very surprised when I saw how good the animation for Solo Leveling was. Like, usually when, I don't know, when stuff get overhyped like this, it doesn't usually, like, look at what happened to T-Bait, right? It usually doesn't matter. It's never always as bad as T-Bait though, but you always get like mid. Like, it's not bad, it's not good, but they actually cooked with Solo Leveling.
Music choice, it's all deliberate. Just having a really good animation already gave it a massive advantage because other manhwa have been failing to bring that consistent high value execution, whereas Solo Leveling made sure that if it were to be lacking in story, it would double down on the one thing that would make it popular.
Eye
This
candy,
led to the
bruh.
hype tripling from one day to the next. Jinwoo's first encounter with the double dungeons, his first encounter with the demon tower, or even his fight with Igris. Think back to each of these moments, and you can tell that every one of them have been executed at the highest level. This was just the first
It
season.
was just a hype
They followed
moment
that
after
up
hype
with a
moment
similarly
after hype
great second
moment.
season. The pacing is also relentless. Every episode either leaves you on a cliffhanger or delivers a win. It's engineered to keep your adrenaline high and your finger hovering over the next episode button. And what makes Solo Leveling so interesting is that even though it doesn't dive into philosophical questions or complex character arcs, it doesn't need to. The hype is the vehicle, but it's driven by consistency, visual dopamine, and emotional momentum
eye
with
candy.
Jinwoo. It's not trying to make you cry, it's trying to make you cheer, and that's okay. Not every story needs to be profound to be powerful.
Oh,
So
God.
as far as Solo Leveling goes in terms of hype, they are nearly
Talk about
10th
free
definition. The
run.
adaptation did leave out a good amount of the substance that the manhwa had, but either way, it's not known for.
Hey, this is the one time I'm gonna do this. Shout out my boy Annie News. Annie Aninews. If you guys are watching an anime that's based off a light novel or something like that, or like a really complex like manga or manhwa, watch Annie News. He breaks down ReZero. He's breaking down how, what was it? He not really breaks down, but he goes over the cut content. Who else? How to Pick Up a Girl Dungeon. That anime, I forgot the title. He did Solo Leveling, and he's really entertaining. I like the way he talks. He talks like he's trying to seduce me.
For it. Whereas Freeman's entire story is built on the foundation of substance. But what exactly does this word I'm throwing around mean? Well, substance in writing refers to the depth, meaning, and value of your ideas and arguments, rather than just the length or surface level details. It's about offering insightful and meaningful content that resonates with the viewer. Frieren, on the surface, might seem like it lacks all the elements of a popular #1 show. No flashy power-ups, no overpowered MC. Well, maybe
Yeah,
she's a bit overpowered.
Nah. What? Free run? Yo. Yeah. Oh my God. That shorty is a definition of
And no
overpowered.
constant action. But that simplicity is extremely deliberate. On the first watch, you might miss most of the storytelling because it's hidden in the quiet moments. It gives off slow fantasy anime vibes at first glance.
It's very slice
That's
of life.
exactly where the substance sneaks in. Every pause, look, flashback carries emotional weight. The story doesn't shout its themes at you, it lets you feel them. The passage of time and memories through a perspective that is unique to this human experience. Freeman isn't about what's happening, it's about why it matters. Where
Talk to
Solo
me.
Leveling rides the wave of momentum, Freeman invites you to sit with your feelings, to process grief, legacy, and what it means to live beyond others. It's storytelling that rewards patience rather than never-ending excitement. And you could be like some of the many who dropped this show because it didn't pick up until episode 5, or you could be like the majority who stuck around and invested in the story. It replaces that spectacle with reflection.
I didn't even,
Instead of
bro.
building
That's the
tension
thing. I don't understand people said they had to quote unquote invest, bro. From episode 1, this shit was gas. This was literally the first ever anime that started with the end of like basically everything. Like the anime started with them finishing the war, right? And then you could be like, from the first episode, these are the amount of questions. And this is what, if you want to get me hooked on any type of anime, add a mysterious aspect from like episode 1 and then let it drag out a little bit. Not too much, but just a little bit. That's how Promised Neverland got me. That's how Erased got me. That's how Tokyo Revengers got me. And I can go on. With, what's this? With Frieren, from episode 1, I was like, okay, so she lives really long and she doesn't she doesn't care about like, you know, regular relationships. Okay, so we're gonna be going down like a kind of self-discovery type of thing. Okay, the hero who helped her win the war is dead. She's crying. Okay, so so she wants to feel some emotions but she can't. She wants to have some connections but she can't. Okay, what's gonna happen after everyone dies, because we know she lives for really long. So we know. Spoiler alert for people who haven't watched it. Hemel is gonna die, and we know a Hyter is gonna die. How is she gonna keep on living, right? What is the world looking like after they have killed literally the main villain? Like what the main villain, which is supposed to be the Demon King. Where are his underlings? Where are they? Are we gonna go take care of them? And then they showed us, right, like the girl who could do the thing where you swap souls, not swap souls, or like compare souls on some shit, and whoever has higher mana, you die. And there was also that other demon, which was I think his right hand man, who was unsealed. That fight was tough as well. And then each time they did anything powery, like they did some type of magic or anything like that, it just kept you wondering, like what type of magic system is this? Is it everyone like unique, like JJK? And then she talks about how people study magic, like this is like a class at school type shit. Like you have scientists, but for magic, and they keep on innovating and improving every time. And like this is just stuff. Every single episode just came with like more stuff. I was just like, it was like I was being brought into a perfect world, not a perfect world, but a world really thought out. Because everything I had questions to had good answers.
Power, it builds through character introspection and emotional provocation, and that hits harder. Because while solo leveling makes you say, let's go, Freeman makes you sit there and whisper, damn. Makes you sit there with these lingering thoughts of how this character, although not human, has a way of making you feel like one. Because in its purest, most simplified form, Freeman is a story about memories. But on a deeper level, it's a story about having appreciation for the little things.
Exactly.
And that time is your greatest asset. And one of the things I love about Freeman's substance is that it can be found in almost nearly every encounter. The most underlying example is when Freeman is fighting her doppelganger. On the surface, it's Freeman versus a clone, but it's not just a mirror match. It's a confrontation with her past self, her limitations, and even potently, her regrets. See, the doppelganger doesn't just copy your spells, it copies her exact mindset of when she learned them. That means it fights like the Freeman who lived mechanically, the version who studied magic for centuries without questioning why she wanted to get stronger.
I
A
see.
Freeman who was emotionally distant, disconnected, and stuck in the limbo of routine.
I never
So
thought
when
about it
Freeman
like
fights
that.
it, she isn't just dealing with a strong enemy. She's facing a version of herself that existed before she traveled with Himmel and the others, before she knew what it meant to feel and to lose someone and actually mourn them. And that's where the substance hits the hardest, because she doesn't win that fight with power. She wins it by breaking away from her old habits, by abandoning that rigid structure
And
she clung
relying
onto
on
for hundreds
relying
of
on
years.
her, what's
She
her
steps
name?
into her own growth, and in that moment shows us substance is evolution, not just of power, but of purpose. The doppelganger knows how to cast her spells, but Freeman knows why she casts them now. And that difference, that tiny, almost invisible shift in intention, is what makes the real Freeman stronger. It's substance over style, the growth over the repetition,
Talk to me.
and overall, the wisdom over knowledge. So what looks like a basic fight scene on the outside is actually Freeman quietly proving she's no longer the detached, immortal mage just drifting through time. She's someone who remembers, who cares, and who actually fights with the meaning. And that's the kind of storytelling that doesn't need loud music or flashy effects. It just needs a viewer who's willing to look past the surface. And this fight still had top tier effects and an excellent
That's what I'm
soundtrack.
saying.
But the
It didn't
point
even
is that
need
there's
it.
so much value that Freeman brings, even to a fight that is visually stunning. There was no need to add anything beyond the visuals and music, but they did. And that substance is what created a #1 anime. Freeman did succumb to some form of hype, which is to be expected because a #1 anime is going to draw curiosity to the masses. But that promise of substance and deeper story is what kept the people connected and why fans are still talking about it today. So
Yeah, bro, that shit was peak. That shit was peak. Oh my goodness. I remember watching it for the first time and I was genuinely like, yo, the animation, it just felt like, it felt so calm. It felt like something new. It felt like I feel like slice of life just done extremely right. And then the theme of her not being able to, I was just like, damn, this is like kind of like a Gojo, but at the same time a Gojo who could like live forever, but like, you know what I'm saying? She's trying to find connections because Gojo's ass is depressed too, but Gojo's depressed for different reasons. It was just like, it was very interesting. But yeah,